listening to Travel with the Backpacking Housewife podcast. I'm your host, Janice Horton. Welcome to episode 8, in which I want to discuss what to pack and what to wear in Scotland in all seasons. I know that Scotland will be a top travel destination for many of you who want to come to Scotland to enjoy the natural beauty and the breathtaking and dramatic landscapes, the centuries-old history, the ancient heritage, and of course to experience the amazing food and drink that is inherently part of Scottish culture. But what to pack and what to wear in Scotland? Many visitors who come to Scotland want to experience all that Scotland has to offer, but must wonder what exactly they should pack in their suitcase or their backpack. For a destination where outdoor activities might include shopping and sightseeing, but also wild camping and wandering around castles, hiking through heather and glens and trekking around lochs, climbing mountains and bagging Munros, when the weather is so notoriously unpredictable. I'd like to share some light-hearted quotes with you about the weather in Scotland. Billy Connolly, the comedian, says that in Scotland there's no such thing as bad weather, only the wrong clothes. And if you don't like the Scottish weather, wait 30 minutes and it's likely to change, says Raymond Bonner. Today's rain is tomorrow's whiskey, is a Scottish proverb. It's fine weather we're having. The rain is falling straight down and kind of to the side. Well, that's a line from Braveheart, spoken by Mel Gibson, being William Wallace. In Scotland, beautiful as it is, it was always raining. Even when it wasn't raining, it was about to rain, or it had just rained, says Colin Hay, the actor. I love summer in Scotland. It's my favourite day of the year. Well, that one's unknown. I think it might have been me. There are 2 seasons in Scotland, June and winter. And again, that one is from the comedian Billy Connolly. To explain the weather in Scotland to you, Scotland is usually wetter and cooler than England, and this is because of the hilly terrain and the low-pressure systems coming in from the North Atlantic current. The prevailing winds are generally from the west and the southwest. The high latitude of Scotland means that in the winter the days are very short, and in the summer the opposite is true, when the days are very long. On the longest day of 21st of June, there's no complete darkness in the northern parts of Scotland. Many Scots will promise you that you'll experience all 4 seasons in one day. January and February are the coldest months in Scotland, with snow falling on high ground. July and August are normally the warmest months. But don't get too excited because temperatures are an average of 19 degrees Celsius. The rainfall in Scotland varies extensively, from an average of 3,000 millimetres a year in the Western Highlands to under 800 millimetres per year near the east coast. The wettest parts of Scotland will experience an average of 250 days of rain per year, whereas the driest parts only experience an average of around 150 days of rain per year. I think the exception has actually been this year in May 2021, when we've had the wettest May in Scotland since 1967. Did you know that there are over 100 words for weather in Scotland? These include dreek, doer, pure Baltic, snell, flaggy, hailing bullet stains, drulkit, har, orlick, stotin, smear and gloomin. I'll explain what they mean later. So when is the best time to visit Scotland? In my experience, having lived in Scotland for most of my adult life, I would certainly recommend springtime to you. April and May, normally, or autumn, September and October, as the best times to visit Scotland. Springtime in Scotland is often still very cold, average temperatures between 7 and 13 degrees, and there's still the threat of snow on the hills. Ne'er cast a clout till May is out are wise words, which means never take off your layers of winter clothing until the end of May. But in springtime, with the 1-hour switch over to British summertime, the days do feel longer, and normally the weather can be brighter. In my experience, over the years, it's often drier in springtime, just not this year, than in summertime, when Scottish skies can be heavy and leaden grey. Now in the summertime, if the weather is dreek, which means damp and grey, then you'll also be prepared to deal with the dreaded wee beasties, the infamous Scottish midge, the biting fly that plagues both locals and tourists alike from late May to late September. There are over 35 different species of biting midge in Scotland, and generally the more northerly you go, then the worse the midge problem, and the more ferocious the biting midge. For the unprepared, visiting the Scottish Highlands in summer can be torturous. You have been warned. Visitors to Scotland during the summer months can check the Scottish midge forecast on smidgeup.com. Yes, there really is such a thing, which will tell you how severe the midges are likely to be on a given day in a particular location and offer advice to you on how to thwart the wee biting beasties. I have also written a post on how to prevent biting flies such as the midge, sandflies and the no-see-ums and mosquitoes, etc. from spoiling your holiday that you might find helpful. It's on the backpackinghousewife.com. Autumn in Scotland, like springtime in Scotland, is a shoulder season, and that can often spell drier weather and milder temperatures, maybe the average of between 8 and 14 degrees C, together with off-peak accommodation costs and fewer crowds than in the summertime, in the most popular tourist spots in Scotland, like taking a tour to Edinburgh Castle, for example. Of course, many people want to come to Scotland in the summer months because that's when the wonderful Edinburgh festivals will normally take place. August is when the Edinburgh Fringe, an Edinburgh International Festival, and the Edinburgh Military Tattoo at Edinburgh Castle happens. There are actually 11 festivals hosted in Edinburgh each year, and the ones I've already mentioned, plus the Edinburgh Science Festival, the Edinburgh International Children's Festival, Edinburgh International Film Festival, the Jazz and Blues Festival, the Art Festival, the International Book Festival, and of course, lastly, Edinburgh's Hogmanay. So with all these activities on throughout the whole year and in all seasons, what do you wear and what do you pack for a holiday in Scotland? My recommendation for all seasons in Scotland is layers of clothes. Vest tops, long sleeve tops, short sleeve tops, a cotton shirt, a woolen sweater, leggings, jeans, quick dry cotton trousers are a good idea, and also waterproof trousers for when the weather is orlich, which is damp and freezing. You'll definitely need a raincoat so that you don't get drill kit, which is soaked to the bone, and you might want to keep your phone in a waterproof phone case. A warm hat is a good idea, but don't buy one of those awful tacky tartan tourist Jimmy hats, will you? The ones with nylon red hair attached to them. You'll also need good comfortable waterproof trainers and or shoes or boots. But don't stress, if you only own a few of the items mentioned already, then why not bring them with you in your luggage and then buy all the other things like warm woolen sweaters when you arrive in Scotland. Scotland is famous for its traditional wool luxury cashmere knitwear, using Aran and Hebridean wools, Harris tweed and tartan and Fair Isle patterns, just to name a few. If you're coming from abroad, then on your packing list for Scotland, don't forget that you'll also need travel insurance. And I'd recommend that you pop over to my website to read the corresponding post to this podcast entitled Your Packing List for Scotland to check out more packing details and also my travel insurance recommendations. So without further ado, let's look at what to pack for Scotland in springtime. That's March, April and May. Springtime in Scotland is often bright and breezy. It can also be wet and windy, which can make it feel icy cold, that's pure Baltic, both in the city streets and in the open countryside. So wear layers of clothing and lightweight woolies under your rain jacket and insulate against the biting winds with a warm scarf and hat and gloves, and use a wind-resistant umbrella. Carry all your stuff around in a waterproof day pack. Wearing waterproof boots and woolly tights and leggings and thermal underwear is also recommended if you're planning to be outdoors a lot or exploring on the high grounds. For hiking, or even looking around castles, lightweight waterproof overtrousers on top of your leggings or jeans, and a fleecy sweatshirt or a woolen sweater, and a padded body warmer are all ideal as outerwear and also casual attire too. In springtime, several warm but light layers are better than one big heavy sweater, so that you can layer up and adjust as necessary between the sunny spells and the rain showers. What to pack for Scotland in summer, that's June, July and August. Again, lightweight layers should be the main items in your Scotland summer packing list. Summer in Scotland can be warm and sunny and dry, all on one day, and everyone will be out wearing sunglasses and shorts and t-shirts. And then the next day you might need your jeans and trousers and a cardigan or sweater and to carry a rain jacket again. If the forecast is for dry, then late summer evenings in Scotland can still be chilly, so be prepared and wear or carry a long-sleeve fleecy top. Carry your wind-resistant umbrella just in case it rains in your day bag, and don't forget your midge repellent. What to pack for Scotland in autumn? That's September, October and November. The weather during September and into October in Scotland can be surprisingly pleasant, but also unpredictable. This can make your packing list for Scotland in autumn a little bit tricky. I'd recommend the same items that I've suggested for springtime, light layers, but also add a warmer and more insulated padded raincoat with a hood. Team the coat with gloves and with a moisture-wicking scarf to keep out any chilly drafts. Pay attention to what footwear you're wearing at this time of year, because no one likes cold, wet feet, and so waterproof trainers or boots and warm socks are recommended. What to pack for Scotland in winter? That's December, January and February. Visiting Scotland in winter is to experience various degrees of cold weather and very few hours of daylight. During December and January, due to Scotland's latitude, there are only 4 or 5 hours of daylight at best, depending on the levels of cloud cover, and the further north you go, the less daylight you'll have, if any at all. Yet winter in Scotland can be magical. Outside there are snowy landscapes, winter sports, brisk walks, and inside warm fires, friendly people, hearty food, and a dram of whisky. Then there are the Hogmanay celebrations that bring many people to Scotland in winter time from all over the world, especially for the famous Princess Street Hogmanay party in Edinburgh. But what to wear? What should be in your Scotland in winter packing list? Bring warm layers and also thermal underwear. Cosy, woolen, fleecy, thicker tops to keep you warm. You'll need a longer length warm waterproof coat, a wool scarf. I like a blanket scarf, and of course gloves and a warm hat. Footwear should be sturdy with warm linings. Boots are a good idea. Wear your footwear with warm, soft woolen socks. Footwear that isn't sturdy or warm should be reserved for indoors only, but avoid too high heels in case you're suddenly whisked off your feet for a quick reel of the dashing white sergeant or the gay Gordons at an impromptu ceilidh Scottish dance. So that's my list of recommendations for what to pack and what to wear in Scotland. I'm sure it will be helpful to you. Do have a wonderful time in bonny Scotland and then haste ye back. Are you planning to visit Scotland? Don't hesitate to get in touch and tell me about it, will you? I'd love to hear from you because my podcasts are totally focused on not only inspiring you to achieve your own travel dreams in your midlife and beyond, but also to answer all your travel questions on Scotland or on anywhere else in the world. Email me through my contact page on my website or get in touch through my social media channels. I'm on Facebook as the Backpacking Housewife. I'm on Instagram as Janice Horton Writer. And if you're on Twitter, please do tweet me your travel goals and your questions at Janice Horton. That's JANICEHORTON. And come and travel with me here on Travel with the Backpacking Housewife podcast. Subscribe and follow for inspiring and informative new episodes each week, in which I'll be discussing ways to plan for and to prioritise travel in our lives and in our new future, in what is set to become a new and golden age of travel.